Dr. Doreen Grand-Pichet is the
Dr. Doreen is an expert in autism.
Doreen Grand-Pichet.
Dr. Grand-Pichet.
Dr. Doreen Grand-Pichet.
Dr. Doreen Grand-Pichet is a visionary in the field of autism. Now you can ask her questions on Ask Dr. Doreen. Someone else on YouTube, and I probably need a little clarification here, but they're saying life skills versus academic for a 12-year-old verbal ASD who is high functioning,
Okay.
but has sensory challenges. And then it goes on to say he is in a life skills class, and it says, but not a lot of homey and less requests. And I think that's probably homework.
So what I'm saying,
Homework. We have confirmation.
So what I'm thinking is that, and you know, we all use these terms and say high functioning. High functioning is different to each person. Like, you know, high functioning to me is someone who's going to recover. So very, very close to typically developing. But high functioning could also mean someone who's verbal, in contrast to someone who's nonverbal. So it's very different. But I would always say, so depending, you know, so there's this psychologist and dead, you know, an old psychologist passed away, Maslow, and what he had this kind of hierarchy of survival, right, basically, and you can say, you know, what matters most is based on just our survival needs. Right. So when you look at your child, it probably matters most that he's able to do basic life skills rather than academic, right? So if you had a limited amount of time and you needed to choose, do I teach him how to, you know, I don't know, groom himself, or learn the ABCs, and I can only choose one of those, then I would probably say groom himself, because it's always going to be more important to survival. Having said that, if he has more time, not resources, just time, then I would pack it with both of those things, because obviously academic skills, some of them are not really going to be useful. A lot of the academic stuff that our kids, are typically developing kids, learn today, it's not because of the content. It's not like how many people actually remember which president was when, or historically what war happened what year. That's not the point. It's just that it keeps the mind active and it engaged. And some of our kids are actually very interested in academic stuff, so it's somewhat rewarding. And of course, basic academic stuff is important, like reading, writing, some math skills. Those types of things are very useful in daily living. So it really depends on where he's at, what are the most important things, and how much time does he have. If he has a lot of time, then you should do as much as you possibly can, do the life skills and academic skills. If he doesn't have time, or if it's, you know, you can only focus on one, then I would always pick the life skills.
And as far as the homework thing goes, because we also have another person who's asking how to help with homework, but I find, you know, I'm a former teacher, and I find it interesting when parents, everybody has an opinion about homework, right? Mm-hmm. There are some teachers who believe that homework just, you know, there are studies that show that it's not that effective, that, you know, like a very brief amount of it does the job, because it's just supposed to reinforce whatever happened in the classroom. But the truth of the matter is that when our kids are home with us, as parents, we can do all kinds of things with them.
That's
and
true.
So, you know, you can go to your teacher and ask for more homework, you could, or you could just find other, as you were saying, pack the schedule, find other activities. But don't, like, I'm reading between the lines and feel like this parent feels like they're not getting enough. So I'm urging you to please listen to Dr. Grand-Pichet, pack more into the schedule.
Absolutely, put more in.
Yes, absolutely. But then for this parent who says the opposite, how to help with the homework, because homework can be miserable.
Homework can be miserable, and the whole system of homework has changed over the years. And I think homework, if it's done right, is very useful, I think. So if it's a teacher who gives you sort of more practice material for what was taught in class today, that's one thing. And that's probably useful. But right now, I think what has happened is that the teachers don't get through a lot of their curriculum. And so they never teach it, and they give the child homework, and then it becomes the parent's job to teach it. And that, I think, is really ridiculous, actually. So, but, you know, that's my opinion about how things are going educationally. But how to help with homework, it's the same thing. It's always the same thing. You will break down the behavior to its smallest units and increase reward. So if you get, I don't know, 5 items of homework, you want to make sure that they are manageable for your child. You will, of course, help with, you know, modeling, helping the child figure things out. But you want to make sure they're manageable. If they're not manageable, you need to go back to the school and you need to ask for accommodations. If you ask for accommodations, they will either make the homework easier or just give your child less of it. And then you want to make sure at home you're rewarding every single accomplishment. Now, for some children, that might be a full sheet of homework or a full subject. You know, I would reward my kids when they had finals coming, when they were in high school or middle school or even earlier. When they had tasks that I knew were coming, I would get them organized and schedule for them and say, today you're going to do these 3 and this is what you're going to do, and then we're going to stop and play. And like, you need to help them figure out how to organize themselves and then reward it, right? You would definitely need to have strong rewards. And if it was a really tough subject, like let's say math, I would then make it just like every 5 questions you do, we're going to do some major reward. I'd make sure they get snacks frequently, all that kind of stuff, so that it was an overall tolerable or pleasant experience. And that's what you have to do with homework. You know, and otherwise it's just too much for our kids. And the other aspect of homework is that sometimes you'll be assigned homework which isn't due tomorrow, it's due in 3 days. And that's super important. Like, a lot of homework is not about the content so much as it is about the organizing of when to do it, how much to do. It's teaching our kids study skills, really. I think I did pretty well with Nikki on that one.
I was going to say, all of your kids are pretty amazing.
Well, I mean, like, Sonny used to fight me on this kind of stuff all the time. I never could make math more rewarding enough for him. But
He's too
he got through
creative.
it. Yes, I know. But he got through it, and he's great, and he got all A's, so it's good.
And knows enough that he needs to know to go be a brilliant mind. Hey, thanks for watching Autism Live. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.